Okay, so what I just want to ask real quick is how much of an impact do you think young people will have on the presidential election coming up this fall?
Young people. I believe it's important just because last election, where Obama won, young people were very important. The college vote was, the numbers were very high. I believe higher than previous years, um, statistically. So I believe, again, young people are going to have a great impact on this next election. With that said, I think more people voted last election that didn't not necessarily normally vote, but I think the voting overall enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of going to scale out, similar to last election, just because of the portions, the percentages.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just going to be as important as anyone else. I don't, as far as the impact they'll have, I don't know if they'll turn out as much as they did. I don't know if I just contradicted myself, but I don't know if they will turn out because it seemed like, that first Obama
First wave was really exciting.
yeah, you know what I mean? And this is the second wave. I know you've heard a lot of downsides about Obama. You heard this, that, and the other, but I mean, that's politics. You hear bad about Republicans, Democrats, all of the above. So I can truly say that on campuses, I haven't heard as much political awareness.
For ASU students on
Right.
campus, is it much of a discussion?
It's not, especially compared to last election. It wasn't at all. It's not at all. So it will be interesting. They have, they can have a big impact, but I don't know if it's going to pan out to its potential.
What do you think about the election coming up? Like, is it important to you? Do you think it's a big deal?
To be honest with you, can I be honest? To be honest with you, I'm not into politics that much. I need to be, I feel it's more important, but I think that if my specific vote did a lot more, obviously it would have a bigger impact on my life. But I feel bad. Some people would, really, especially some older teachers would really shun me for this, but I didn't even vote the first election. And I feel bad about that just because, it was the first black president, but who cares? This is America. We kind of have to get back past certain things, we can't wear a race card forever, It's great. It's great. It's a very great feat, but there's still a lot that needs to be done.
Real quick, what do you think people can do to put it in students' minds? What is it going to take to get them thinking about it?
I think it's kind of the awareness. If you're thinking about educational wise, I'm in school. And I guess you can consider me educated, but educational wise, I would need to learn more about that specific topic. For instance, you almost have to go back towards a grade school instance. Even if you're in your specific major, they should really pull in certain chapters or certain history lessons within all the majors. So if you're a film major, if you're a planning major, if you're a whatever major you are, you should be able to pull in politics and explain why it's important to that field and explain how it can anything, the connectivity to it. And those are the basics. Same thing with, I heard somebody mention, how come they don't teach kids, or it's not a requirement to teach kids about taxes, about certain jobs. And yes, there are elective classes that you can take for this, that, and the other. We touch on it, but why don't we teach kids the most important elements in life rather than, So I think that if schooling in a way should still require all the way through it more education about certain subjects or more pertinent subjects. So lastly, I don't know, that might be good. I don't know.
Okay.
But then, not everybody's educated too, so I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
So it's sort of like a lack of education.
Yeah.
It's what's the issue.
Yeah.
What could resolve it.
Right. I could know about politics if I knew politics, but I'm not really focusing my energy towards politics. With one vote, I feel like what's actually being done. But
that's what kind of the bottom line of the question is if it's not important to you, they're not doing something right.
Right.
In a way, it goes.
Yeah, I'm one in billions, I think. So, or 1 million.
students specifically in general are going to be to the election this year?
I think that well, I only can speak for like myself. You know, like I feel that with the first election like that just recently happened with the Barack Obama becoming the president of the United States, I didn't vote. That's something that, you know, I did feel bad about, but also I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because when I was an 18-year-old kid coming into freshman year of college, like I didn't really know a lot about politics. I didn't really know enough to where like I wouldn't want to necessarily have my parents' influence over me. I didn't want somebody else's outside influence affecting my decision on who becomes president of the United States for me, you know. So I think that that's something that kind of pushed me away from voting the first time. But with, you know, me getting older and a lot more mature now, this upcoming election, I definitely see it as something that's really important to me. And it's something that I've been paying attention to, you know, looking at all the candidates from, you know, the Republican side, from the Democratic side, trying to figure out, you know, which party best suits me, which party best suits my values and things like that. So I definitely say, like, with my age, like in the past like 4 years and changing, like definitely has increased my, like, I don't know, like my whole like ideal on what I see like politics are for me. So
Do you feel like this election is going to affect you personally as a student? and as a
I
young person?
think that all of the elections affected me personally, whether I paid attention to it or not. You know, they're politics. You know, presidents being elected or not, just directed at a specific age group. They're not directed at a specific race. They're not like, you know, anything like that. A specific gender. You know, it's going to be affected from an infant all the way up to, you know, somebody that's in their 90s, somebody that's, you know, elderly. I think that when you look at politics, you know, you have to look at somebody from a wide range. Like, what can they do for me now? What can they do for my kid? What can they do for my grandparents? You know, so like I see that, like though that's the real thing that I look at when I see now politics now. Like when I'm going into it, like, you know, what can they do for me? What can they do for the people that are around me that are not always like me, but like still are something that like needs to be paid attention to.
So do you think young people are important to the election?
I do. I think all people are important, but I do think that there does need to be a more demand on young people's lives to be inside of politics and trying to figure out exactly what type of politics, what they want to represent, what things that they believe in. I think it's something that definitely needs to be addressed as a whole across the, you know, the entire United States. You know, starting from a young age makes it a lot easier for people to get into it after they graduate, after you know they go on with their lives and they're becoming more into like this society that we are in today, and being adults and going into their adult life. If they start their politics at a young age, then it makes it a lot easier transition and makes it a lot more educational for them and important to them in the future.